What's good, Expressers? I hope y'all been having a good week. Welcome to another Walk Through the Bible episode. Today we are going to be diving into the New Testament. Are you familiar with the Gospel books? Those are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These were written by 4 of Jesus' disciples. They are inspired writings from their experience during his earthly ministry, death, and resurrection. We'll be focusing on a specific event that you may or may not have known. During Jesus' ministry, he had gained a name for himself. Many were happy and some were not feeling the fact that this man claimed to be the Son of God that was talked about so much in the Old Testament. But despite the fame Jesus was getting, he knew he had a mission, and that was to help people and save them from eternal damnation. Oftentimes, Jesus would have crowds and crowds of people following him. Many wanted to know who he was and were intrigued by his teachings. They also came for healing, whether for themselves or for others. It seemed like an exciting time with Jesus on the scene doing all these miracles. One instance was the Sermon on the Mount. That is when Jesus was on the mountainside and crowds were gathering to hear him teach. That day, he taught about the Beatitudes. Have you ever heard of them? We'll go through them to refresh your memory. Or if you haven't, let's introduce you to what Jesus had to say concerning them. God blesses those who are poor and realize their need for him, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. God blesses those who mourn, for they will be comforted. God blesses those who are humble, for they will inherit the whole earth. God blesses those who hunger and thirst for justice, for they will be satisfied. God blesses those who are merciful, for they will be shown mercy. God blesses those whose hearts are pure, for they will see God. God blesses those who work for peace, for they will be called the children of God. God blesses those who are persecuted for doing right, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Isn't it amazing to know the blessings of God? As you can see, the Beatitudes speak to deep issues plaguing our society. Many people are in pain and need to be comforted. Some are crying out for justice and God hears their requests. There are those who realize that they need him just to make it through the day, whether they are bowing their heads saying silent prayers at any time. God is aware of what is done in his name, and we can trust that he will answer. We just have to be patient and know that he will. There is a point Jesus taught that is important as well. Want to know what it is? Here goes. God blesses you when people mock you and persecute you and lie about you and say all sorts of evil things against you because you are my followers. Be happy about it. Be very glad, for a great reward awaits you in heaven. And remember, the ancient prophets were persecuted in the same way. Persecution is definitely something those following Jesus will go through. People will mock you and not understand why you choose to follow Jesus. But this is not a time to be discouraged about this happening. Know that all over the world, many Christians are being persecuted every day for the faith, whether being disowned, shunned, or ridiculed by others. Some have to even hide and meet secretly in order to praise God together. Also, another reality is that some have been killed for the faith. Yes, at first glance you may be thinking, who chooses that? But as believers, we are known to trust in God throughout all these situations, as hard as they may be to imagine. Check this out.
As Christians, persecution is our birthright, right? I know there's a gospel that's preached that says, oh, in America, everyone will like you and everything's going to be okay. But the thing is, that's not the gospel, right? Jesus says that you are blessed when people persecute you and say all things about you. So what we're talking about with what I've seen the Lord doing through the ministry is oftentimes I've seen that people persecute what they don't understand, right? So oftentimes because they're seeing God moving in a way that they haven't seen, they say, oh, that's not God. When in reality, no, it's God. You just haven't had the revelation. He moves that way. So
the Beatitudes are a clear reflection of just how God will bless his children for trusting and believing in him. So stay encouraged, my friends. Do you have any takeaways from the Beatitudes that speak to you? Leave a comment and let's start a conversation. Once again, thank you for tuning in and see you on the next one.